Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Kim with Kim's Inspired Life. A little bit of a different background today. I'm in Colorado visiting my grandkids, and they're at school, two of them at school, one of them upstairs taking a nap. And so I thought I'd do a quick video to join hashtag BookTube Thursday, an open collab hosted by our sweet friends Patty at Life with Patty and Daphne at My Mountain Home and Kitchen. And so today I'm going to share a book that I finished, an audiobook, which was actually suggested and highly encouraged by Patty, The Four Winds by Kristin Hannah. And I have some notes here on this paper, so I remember to tell you a few things because I've already gone on to and started my next book. Of course, if you've been on my channel, you know it's by Patchett, and that's The Patron Saint of Liars. So I'm going to talk to you about that book. I'll tell you how far I am into that book in just a minute. Okay, so The Four Winds by Kristin Hannah. Let me tell you a little bit about it. First, let me tell you that Patty loved the book. She gave this an excellent review, and so I added it to my TBR list and was looking for an audiobook when I was finished with my last book and thought, okay, let me see if my library has it, and sure enough, they had it to borrow. So the audiobook, which I borrowed from the Libby app, and it's connected to most libraries, is 15 hours. The audiobook's 15 hours, and so I was listening to it as I was crafting, as I was cleaning, as I was cooking, as I was driving, so I listened to it, and it was one of those books that, like Patty said, definitely was hard to put down. If you're going to read the book, it's 36 chapters. It is 454 pages. The Four Winds by Kristin Hannah was published in 2021, and it is historical fiction. And so the setting is the Great Depression in the early 30s and starts off in Texas. And so the Dust Bowl is happening. There's a family that is affected by that. The main character, her name is Elsa. She has two children. She has a husband, but he's not around for very long. And he leaves headed to California, where everyone else is apparently at the time, going to find jobs, going to find a better way. But he leaves in the middle of the night and doesn't tell them. And so they stick around for a while more until they just can't stand it anymore. They're actually living, Elsa and her two children, their two children, are actually living with the husband's parents. And the parents don't want to leave their farm. They don't want to leave their land. And so they make the decision to stay, and Elsa takes her two children and she goes to California. And this is a story of survival, resilience, love, family, friendship, loss. Those are all the things that I love to read. Hope. Those are all the things that I love to read about, and I'm so happy that are included in a book. I did not realize that this book is fiction, of course, but there's so many places that are, of course, real. And so they actually travel from Texas to California and actually end up for quite a while in the San Joaquin Valley, which is exactly where I live. So that was interesting to hear them say the names of cities that are all around me. So the ending of the book, oh my goodness, Patty did not prepare me for the ending of the book. And I'm not going to, of course, tell you about the ending of the book because you'll want to read this book. And it was an excellent ending. Love the characters. I equate Kristin Hannah's writing a lot like Patchett's writing. Strong women characters that she just describes so well, and you get very involved with them and in their lives, and you can just almost picture them and hear them and relate them to people that you know. So I really did enjoy this book. I am going to read another Kristin Hannah book now, and so I'm not sure which one. There's a couple that I'm deciding about. So, all right. So thank you, Patty, for the recommendation, and I recommend also that you read The Four Winds by Kristin Hannah. And if you didn't already know this, Kristin Hannah also wrote Firefly Lane, which was turned into a Netflix series, which was really good. 2 seasons, I believe it was in. Kristin Hannah also has written about 20 novels, so about the same actually as Patchett has. But many of her novels have won awards. And then in 2024, Kristin Hannah wrote The Women, and that's supposedly by so many book reviewers and Goodreads that Kristin Hannah is the author to read in 2025. So you may pick up her book, The Women, or one of her other books and read that as well. All right. Let me share with you the book that I am reading right now, which is Ann Patchett, The Patron Saint of Liars. And I am on page number 83, and there are 352 pages in this book. This book was the very first Ann Patchett novel. So this is her debut novel, written in 1992. And so again, there's a strong female character as the main character. Her name is Rose. She married Thomas, and she's not really in love with Thomas. Thomas kind of a stalkerish situation. It almost sounds like in the book. I mean, he kept watching her. He told her this. He said, I've been watching you. I've been following you. And she was a little put off by that, but she still went on a date with him. And the next they're married. So anyway, so she finds herself now pregnant. And she doesn't want to be pregnant because she doesn't love Thomas and she doesn't want to be with Thomas. But she's Catholic, and so she knows she's going to have the baby. And one day she just decides, you know what, I can't do this. So she doesn't tell Thomas she's pregnant. She just leaves him a simple note that just says, goodbye, I'm leaving, kind of thing, and gets in the car. She didn't start to drive until she was an adult. So her driving and getting in the car and taking the car and going someplace is built up in the book. And it's kind of like her shield of armor almost. So she can get in the car and she can drive somewhere. She doesn't know where she's going. She just starts heading, driving, and she ends up in Kentucky. And so most of the story is going to take place in Kentucky. She stops for gas or a drink or I think something, and somebody, she starts talking to somebody and to a woman, and she tells her that she's pregnant and but her home, and she says, oh yeah, I left my husband. And then she says, oh, you must be headed towards St. Elizabeth's. Well, she doesn't know what St. Elizabeth's is, but she figures, let me go find out. So she drives over to St. Elizabeth's, and there's a big plaque on the outside of this house, big old house, and it says it's a house for unwed mothers, and it's run by nuns, and she's Catholic, and so she thinks, okay, well, I guess God led me here. This is where I'm supposed to go. So where I am at in the book right now, she just got there. She's only been there for a couple of weeks. She's just starting to meet some of the other ladies that are there, and starting to get along with the sisters and all of that kind of thing. So so I'm excited to continue to read The Patron Saint of Liars. She considers herself a liar for having having been in a marriage that wasn't one out of love. And then also now, she has lied to a couple of the people that are there at St. Elizabeth's about why she's there. Obviously she's pregnant, but the situation behind it. So anyway, I think that, I love Ann Patchett, and so I'm happy to read her debut novel. If you haven't read a book by Ann Patchett, I would highly suggest, if you love a story with all of those elements, love and hope and resilience and family and courage and a strong main character, then you will also like The Patron Saint of Liars and Ann Patchett's book. So, all right. That's it for today's Thursday BookTube, and thank you to our hostesses. Definitely follow the hashtag, see what other people are sharing on Thursday and what they're reading, and I hope you find a book soon to add to your TBR list. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.